All right, YouTube, let's get started on the Bavarian Smoky episode. So Bavaria, like I said, is an area in southern Germany, and I was lucky enough to visit Munich for a week, and we went on a meat shop tour, and that might be where I go when I die. That might be meat head heaven, butcher heaven, sausage head heaven. But in this Bavarian Smoky that I make for the store, it is 2/3 beef, 1/3 pork, so you can see the light pork there and the nice red beef here, and it's done on a fine grind. The textures can vary from fine grind to like an emulsification, and the blend of pork to beef can vary. Sometimes it's all pork, sometimes there's no beef, but for our store, I like to do 2/3 beef, 1/3 pork. The pork just adds a bit of juiciness for the beef in the smoked product in the end, because we are going to take it through the smoking process, have it be fully cooked, ready to eat. So, what is in a Bavarian Smoky? I get that question in the store lots, and I'll tell you that right now. Salt at 15 grams per kilogram. This is a 2.5 kilogram batch, so just over 5 pounds of Smokies is what we're going to make today. We got salt at 15 grams per kilogram, white pepper at 3 grams per kilogram, mace at 1/2 gram per kilogram, coriander at 1/2 gram per kilogram, allspice 1/2 gram per kilogram, paprika 1.5 grams per kilogram, ginger 0.5 per kilogram, garlic 1 gram per kilogram, and this is one I don't use very often, but you do see it now and again in recipes. Liquid smoke, I use liquid hickory smoke. I believe in southern Germany they're smoking with beech wood most of the time, but I don't have any of that around here. So it's hickory, liquid smoke, and hickory in the smokehouse. We use liquid smoke at 1/2 gram per kilogram. Cure, because we're going to take it through the smoking process, which means it's going to sit in the danger zone above 5 degrees Celsius, 42 Fahrenheit, and 60 degrees Celsius. What is that in Fahrenheit? I don't know. Like 145, 150? Then we're going to use sodium erythorbate, which is a cure accelerator, because we're going to season these up and then we're going to pop them straight in the smokehouse here. Then we use binder, which is an addition of protein. So lots of people ask, can I use milk powder? Can I use, so long as it's got protein in it, so whey protein, that'd be kind of milk powder. Milk has protein in it. Soy binder is what I use, soy protein, those type of things. Anything that's adding protein at 10 grams per kilogram, and then we're going to add water or ice at 100 milliliters per kilogram, or 10% of the weight. There's our blend of spices. It's that white pepper on the bottom, paprika, garlic, mace, coriander. So it's pretty aromatic. It's a little bit different than when we get over here in North America. North America are Smokies or hot links or stuff that goes on the barbecue kind of thing over the campfire. You know, it's more traditionally a salt, garlic, pepper, cure, sugar, but this one's quite aromatic. It's really nice. Onto our fine ground pork and beef mix and season it up. Then add our water and liquid smoke till we get some protein extraction. All right, so I'm just going to blend the pork and beef together a little bit here. And when I say fine plate, I mean we end on a kind of 3 or 4 millimeter plate, so that's 3/16 plate. So you want to end on something nice and fine. It's very fine textured sausage, and you want to use lean meat. You don't want it to be too fatty, but also you don't want it to be too dry. So you're shooting for trim or ground pork and beef that have 15 to 20% fat in them. So 80% to 85% lean red meat, to 15 to 20% nice back fat or intramuscular marbled intramuscular fat kind of thing. I'll throw our spice mix on there. That paprika kind of gives it a nice red tinge. Toss that around a little bit, and I'll measure out our water and liquid smoke. This smell reminds me of the meat sausage supply shops, and that white pepper. It's so nice. This is such a nice spice blend. That mace, ginger, paprika, garlic, and white pepper, they really work good together. This is a really yummy one. And you can add cheese, jalapenos to it after this, but we're just going to do plain Bavarian Smokies today. I'm going to measure out our water. and liquid smoke. So we're doing 2.5 kgs, so I need 250 milliliters of water. Now here's a little trick for you. I will leave the last 10 milliliters out, so this is 240 milliliters of water, because we're gonna have to add liquid smoke to this, and liquid smoke is kind of tricky to measure. So put our new little container on, tare it. I need 10 more milliliters to top up my recipe. Measure out that 10 mil. Okay, 11, close enough. Now we're using half a gram of liquid smoke per kilogram, so I only need 1 milligram of liquid smoke. You gotta be careful with this stuff. It's quite strong, and if you put too much in, your sausage is gonna come out bitter tasting, and that's no good. So 1 milliliter isn't much, it's just a quick little shot. Oh, that's way too much. Redo, that's 4 milliliters. Perfect, 1 milliliter. I mix it into the water because if you mix it into just this little plastic container, it's kind of coats the plastic container. It's hard to get your 1 milliliter out, hard to measure, hard to mix. I take that, add it to my water, rinse that little container in there so you get all that liquid smoke. Now, let's add it to our mix. You guys ask me sometimes down in the comments too, like, why don't you make a slurry out of the spices? Add your water to your spices, make a slurry, and then add it to the meat. And you can. There's no difference. It's just there's no spices left over in this container. So I put them in dry, add the water to the meat, or you put them all in at once. It doesn't really matter. What does matter though is you mix it thoroughly enough. You want to get some good protein extraction out of these so that it fills the sausage casing, and after they're cooked, the sausage casing has a nice snap to it. It helps the casings be less chewy, and you get a better texture out of it. So I'm going to mix till it sticks to my hands, and I'll show you guys, then we'll stuff it. All right, been mixing away here for a couple minutes, guys. See that good protein extraction? A little additional binder helps. It's good. It is good to stuff. So when you're loading the sausage stuffer, it's the same for every sausage. If you've heard me say it once in one of the other videos, it's the same. Get a good handful, load it into the bottom of your stuffer, and pack it in there. I'll get this all in there, and I'll bring in to stuff it into some 29 32 millimeter natural hog casings. Change the angle up for stuffing this time. I've got them loaded in there. I've got a C-clamp on the back side of my sausage stuffer so it doesn't jiggle and wiggle around on me. And I just take these hog casings, which I popped in the water before the video started. Got one end there. I'm going to find the other end and flush some water through them. If you get a knot like I did just now, I just put my fingers into the sausage and just open up and pull, open up and pull, kind of like kneading dough kind of thing, until you find the end. Then when you find the end, open up the end, 2 fingers like so, scoop some water into it, and that is going to flush any salt that is on the inside of the sausage casing out. It's going to lubricate it at the same time so that it slips right onto your horn nice and easily. And you just feed it on. All right, coming to the end here, I just let the water spill out onto the table, not a big deal. We're gonna have plenty to do it here. So what I do is I just leave a little tail hanging off the end. I don't tie a knot in it because it lets that first little bit of air escape. Okay, now that first little bit of sausage has come out, pinch it, and now I'm controlling the pressure at the edge of the horn. If I want it tighter, I squeeze my index finger and thumb together. And every so often, you should check. Make sure it gives about 1/4 of the way through the sausage. Too much more than that, your sausage casings will be underfilled and they could be a bit chewy. Too much more than that, and they could be tough. Okay, so I've stopped and now I've created a little air pocket on the horn for myself. So I just use my fingernail, or you can use the back side of a knife. Make sure your fingernails are clean. Poke a little hole in it. There. Adios, air pockets. All right. Found the end of it. I just pull a 1.5 inches off of the horn. Ripper. Now I got a little leftover casing. So people ask, like, do I got to chuck this out? How do you know how much to pre-measure so you don't waste any? You don't have to waste it. You just take this and this other bit of sausage casing that I rehydrated for this process. I'm going to hang it up and let it drip dry for 45 minutes. Then I'm going to pack it into a large amount of salt. Just really salt the heck out of it and then pop it in the fridge. And it's good in your fridge for probably like a year to a year and a half. So, save your sausage casings. All right, so we got our little pile of intestines that need to be linked. And I just link them into kind of about 5-inch chunks. So you pinch 3/4 of the way through, go to the next one, pinch 3/4 of the way through, and 1, 2, 3 times towards yourself. Doing every other one 3 times, 1, 2, 3 towards yourself. And if you were kind of paying attention to the firmness of your sausage as you were stuffing, you shouldn't have any blowouts. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there we go, guys. Some Bavarian sausages linked up, ready to hit the smoker. Now, you could throw these straight into your smoker, let them drip dry or in the smoker, or you can hang them up at room temperature and let them dry. But first step in the smoking is going to be drying for an hour. I'm going to have to put off smoking these because I'm filming this on Mother's Day. So I got to go meet my mom here for coffee soon. I wish all your mothers a happy Mother's Day too. I know it won't be Mother's Day when you're watching this, but happy belated Mother's Day, moms. So I'm just going to put these in the cooler. Then we're going to take them through the smoking steps when I get back. All right, everybody, I've got the Bavarians loaded into the smokehouse with a batch of jalapeno cheddar smokies. May as well make use of the smokehouse. So it's these guys along the bottom here. Those are Bavarians. These guys are the pork jalapeno cheddars. But they're the same method, so we're going to run the smokehouse with a full load. So it's going to be 150 degrees Fahrenheit for an hour with the fan on and the dampers open, letting the humidity out to dry them off. Once they're nice and dry, I throw the hickory pan in. The hickory smokes in there for an hour and a half to 2 hours at 155 to 160 with the damper open a little bit. And then we're going to close the damper off just about all the way to bring that humidity and temperature up and cook them to an internal temperature of 160 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 71 degrees Celsius, and they will be ready to eat and delicious. So next time I open this, it's going to be full of cooked smokies. All right, guys, the Pro Smoker and Roaster has gone off. Here we go. First look at them right there. They look awesome. Probe's still in the middle of the biggest smoky. So there's our jalapeno ones. But today we're focusing on these Bavarians. And look at that nice color. That nice bloom. They got themselves a nice smoking, so they look good. So the next step here, guys, is I'm going to take all these smokies out, pop them in some totes, give them a cold water rinse for kind of about 5 to 10 minutes, dump them out, let them rebloom, stick them in the cooler, and then we'll package them up in the morning. All right, here they are receiving their rinsing. Bavarian Smokies too. All right, guys, so it is the next morning now, and we have our Bavarian Smokies come out of the cooler. They're nice and cooled down. They got that nice, look at that color. Looks good. That deep dark red smoked beef look. Now, last time I did this, I kind of ended the video here, and you guys said that's no damn good. We want to see a cut into it and see the inside. I read your comments. I listen. So let's cut a couple of these guys here and give you a cross section of what it looks like. Yeah. There you go, guys. Nice fine textured smoky. This is cold, of course. They're better warmed up, I find. They make really nice ones for the campfire on the barbecue or whatever. Good candidate for a nice steamed bun and sauerkraut. We'll dive into one. I've had these lots, so I know how these taste. That's something to look forward to. It's a good one. I don't know what to tell you. You seen what went into it? The beef. I make mine with beef. You can make it with any combination of things, but nice lean beef, juicy pork. That spice combination, the little bit of liquid smoke, and then the smoke from the smokehouse. It is a good one, guys. So I hope you get a chance to make the Bavarian. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, share it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll put the recipe down below, and we'll make more videos like this in the future. So, thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Just going to vac pack these and put them away.